Maybe even, right, maybe put a sock on it. Maybe grab... They're clean, don't worry. It's not going to stink your face off, right? Cheesy sock.
Oh, see. Right. I'll just wrap it over like that.
Now put it on your knob. Oh, no, it's because it's... Yeah, you can put it on, just roll it up. Because then you can be a lot louder then, can't you? Ooh. Oh, yeah. Oh, slide it on.
First time you've done that.
That's about the right size, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a size 10. So that's better like that. Am I talking a bit closer?
Yeah, you can have it closer now, yeah.
Yeah, there. That's good.
That's great, yeah.
Yeah, all right.
So the Axeman of New Orleans, I came across it a while ago, and I'd never heard of him. Her, well, who knows, actually. Transgender, who knows.
In that day, I imagine.
So the Axeman of New Orleans was a guy that, as you could probably guess from his name,
like to use an axe.
Kill people by sneaking into their house and killing them with an axe. But they never caught him, did they?
No. He's
and this was in what, 1919?
1918 is the first record.
Right.
Yeah, and well, we go to his first recorded victim as the Axeman.
So this was what, 1918?
Yes, I'll get it for you now. Yeah, so May 23rd, 1918. It's Joseph and Catherine Maggio. It's his first recorded victim.
Right. Yeah.
So it's so Joseph Maggio, an Italian grocer, and his wife were attacked while sleeping inside their apartment on the corner of Upper Line and Magnolia Street. So that's quite, wanting to break in the middle of the night.
Yeah, and didn't he, apparently from the documentary I watched, he didn't actually bring his own axe.
No.
Because people had axes.
Everybody had axes in those days. You got to think. Everyone had a shed full of tools.
Yeah.
Well, actually, I don't know. They said in his apartment, so, yeah, just your apartment axe.
Because in New Orleans, as well, like, a lot of people lived, like, in little, like you said, apartments, so they've just got an axe in the corner.
Yeah, like French-style houses, isn't it?
Yeah,
in New Orleans, and
So and I think wasn't there one that he used a gun?
That's a suspicion. There was.
They don't know if it was him.
Yeah, but they don't know if it was him. But go into that as a suspect.
Yeah. So what? 1918 in New Orleans, and apparently wasn't it? Do you want to read out as one of his letters?
So yeah, we got his letter. Well, this is a year after.
Is this a
year after his first attack is his first recorded letter. So this is a letter to the police and to New Orleans, the people of New Orleans, and esteemed mortal. They have never caught me, and they never will. They have never seen me, for I am invisible, even as an ether that surrounds your earth. I am not a human being, but a spirit and a demon from the hottest hell. I am what you Orleaners and you foolish police call the Axeman. When I see fit, I shall come and claim other victims. I alone know whom they shall be. I shall leave no clue except my bloody axe, besmeared with blood and brains from he whom I have sent below to keep me company. If you wish, you may tell the police to be careful not to rile me. Of course, I am reasonable. I am a reasonable spirit. I take no offence at the way that they have conducted their investigations in the past. In fact, they have been so utterly stupid as to not only amuse me, but His Satanic Majesty, Francis Joseph, etc. But tell them to beware. Let them not try to discover what I am, for it were better that they were never born, that to incur the wrath of the Axeman. He does go on. We'll go into the rest.
Yeah. So just that's like halfway through, and it's like, I am. What does he say? I'm a demon from the hottest hell. And I always
satanic majesty.
I always find
to describe yourself as a satanic majesty.
He's really like. I think he's read a couple of dodgy books, hasn't he? And gone,
This could really rile the people of New Orleans up.
Yeah, I find with letters to like authorities and the press and stuff, like with in the past of other cases, they do have this really like higher narcissistic attitude, where he's like, I am better than you. I'm not a human being.
You will not get me.
You'll never get me because I am this and this and this. And it's always, I am this, I am this, I am
this.
Yes,
it's like the people who claim to be Jesus.
Yeah. So in this letter, he's basically, because he's got away with a couple or whatever at this point, Now it's gone to his head. So he's like, he's clearly delusional.
Well, this is first. I mean, this is a year after his first recorded victim.
So it's one in the bag.
Yeah. So no, I mean that's after the Joseph and Catherine Maggio, the Maggio family, and
was this the child or just the couple?
No, that was just the couple.
Oh yeah, 23rd May 1918. Joseph Maggio, an Italian grocer, and his wife Catherine were attacked while sleeping inside their apartment on the corner of Upper Line and Magnolia Streets. The killer broke into the residence and cut the couple's throats with a straight razor. Catherine's throat was cut so deeply that her head was nearly severed from her shoulders. The killer then struck both victims with an axe, perhaps in order to conceal the cause of death. Joseph survived the attack, but did die minutes after being discovered by his brothers Jake and Andrew. The killer wrote a message on the nearby pavement reading, "Mrs. Maggio will sit up tonight just like Mrs. Tony," theorised to be a reference to Anthony and Joanna Sciambra, Italian greengrocers who were attacked in 1911. So he's basically saying this is similar to this last one.
Yes, yeah, and another Italian grocery family. Yeah.
So this is the theory as well, that he was against Italians. He didn't
like Italians, and there's more theories as to why. Is there mafia or mobster involvement, or is he just got a prejudice against the influx of Italian?
Early 1900s. This is very like the height of the mafia. There's when they became a big, like they were always there, but like they
coming
were
into Staten
They
Island,
were everywhere.
Yeah,
they
Ellis
were
Island,
Ellis Island, New York, but they did spread to New Orleans. They went to Florida. They went to everywhere. Like so, there will be something in New Orleans. So he's obviously pissed off at the fact that they probably run the place themselves
and taken over all the rackets and
and he's one of those dudes that I think he's clearly not all there. And he's got into his head that they are the reason. Like when people say like the Jewish people are like they run the world and they're evil and they want to get rid of them.
Yeah.
So I think he's just the same, and he's just got so overwhelmed with all this shit that he's angry, he's upset, and he's read a couple of books that have said if you need to do this, then it's the way to go.
And sort of the propaganda against Italians and
yeah.
Get rid of the Italian problem first and
So I'll read the next bit of his letter because it's pretty interesting.
Yes.
So the next part of the letter is, "I don't think there is any need of such a warning, for I feel sure the police will always dodge me, as they have in the past. They are wise and know how to keep away from all harm. Undoubtedly, you Orleanians think of me as a most horrible murderer, which I am. But I could be much worse if I wanted to. If I wished, I could pay a visit to your city every night. At will, I could slay thousands of your best citizens, for I am in close relationship with the angel of death." He has just got this like crazy, I am this higher being.
As I say, he's by the time he's delivered this letter, or wrote this letter, he's already 4 victims in, or five victims in.
Yeah.
Not all of them are died, but yeah. So between
Well, the
so
thing
he,
is,
he sends this letter, and obviously the police go into a heightened sense, and then his next victim isn't 4 or 5 months. So he sends the letter in May, and then it comes back in August that his next victim.
Yeah.
So obviously they were on the lookout for him as well.
Yeah. And he's at the point where he's like, ha.
Yeah, I've already got away with 5.
Because now if you killed one person, you wouldn't get away with it. So he's thinking, oh, I must be better, I must be smarter, and it's all gone to his head. So the rest of his letter is, "Now to be exact, at 12:15 earthly time, on next Tuesday night, I'm going to pass over New Orleans. In my infinite mercy, I'm going to make a little proposition to you people. Here it is. I am very fond of jazz music." He must be fucking nuts.
He's got to be. Well, no, I like jazz. What's wrong with the bit of jazz?
It was you.
It was me, yeah. Well,
you're not a human being.
It was Louis Armstrong, wasn't it? Satchmo.
So I'm very fond of jazz
man,
music, and I swear by all the devils in nether regions that every person shall be spared in whose home a jazz band is in full swing at the time I have just mentioned. If everyone has a jazz band going, well then, so much better for you people. One thing is certain, and that is some of you people who do not jazz it out on the specific Tuesday night, if there be any, will get the axe. Mate. So, well, as I am cold and crave the warmth of my native Tartarus, and it is about time I leave your earthly home, I will cease my discourse. hoping that thou will publish this, that it may go well with thee. I have been and will be the worst spirit that ever existed, either in fact or realm of fantasy. Signed,
The AXEMAN. You need to sign it, the AXEMAN. They gave him a name, and he's like,
yeah,
I like it. I like the name, man.
I tell you what, right? So with these names, with like, you know, people like you call like BTK Killer and all that.
Yes,
stuff, right?
He
He when he wrote a letter to the press or the police, because they were calling him things in the paper like they do, you know, give him a nickname, and he wrote to them, but you know, in so many words, he said like, "That's not my nickname. My nickname is BT." Like he chose it himself because that's lack of control. Then
Yes, yeah.
So he's like, "I'm BTK. I'm not the.
Doing this.
I'm the so and so killer. I'm this. This is my name." And like with,
I think it comes down to what you say, narcissism.
yeah, of course,
It's like,
it is.
you know,
Yeah.
they're painting this.
He's in control.
Yeah.
And like Richard Ramirez, when they called him the Night Stalker, apparently he got annoyed and told authorities later on, or in a letter or something, that he wanted to be called the Night Prowler because he was he was a massive AC/DC
yes,
fan.
that's it. Yeah.
Because he left one of his hats at a crime scene, an AC/DC hat. And then they called him the Night Stalker, and he hated it. He wanted to be called the Night Prowler. So he's like, no.
Right into the media
like,
themselves.
Yeah. Like, I don't want to be called that.
Are
I
you,
want to be
mate?
called this because I'm better at this. I'm good at this, you know. Yeah, it's all the control. Like, signed the AXEMAN. So it's all, again, the narcissistic thing, isn't it? So after the first victim, so it was the couple, wasn't it? So
yes, the Maggio family.
Yeah, Joseph and Catherine Maggio, and then we've got
they were both killed because he's not always been successful. He's had 12 victims, but only 6 murders.
So he ain't that thorough. Is
He's
he?
not, you know, he's not as good with an axe as he
I was
thinks.
going to say an axe. It
Yeah.
can't be that hard to fucking kill someone.
That's
So
right, yeah.
it's a bit sloppy, innit, if he doesn't.
Like, you would have thought hitting somebody with an axe, you'd take him out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And especially if with the Maggios, he slit their throats first.
Yeah.
Just do that every time, because if you don't kill them with an axe, they're going to bleed out with their throat.
It's his
open, aren't
first one, isn't it? It's like
he's trying,
he's
testing
just,
shit out.
Yeah, discovering what he is. Am I
They
am
all
I a
do
razor
that.
guy?
Yeah.
Am I an axe man?
Yeah.
What am I?
Razor.
Yeah.
Axe sounds pretty cool.
Yeah. Maybe I could be like the samurai. No, that's too
I'm
many.
the Axe Man.
Yeah. That's his theme song. Is the song when he's.
That's what I hear when I hear that song. I'm the Axe Man.
Yes.
So yeah, we got the second victim. So it's another couple, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Well, the second victim's actually, and it goes to show the prejudice in the day as well, because so it's another greengrocer, but there's actually not an Italian this time.
Right.
Which which becomes, you'll see why that becomes a bit of a surprise with other victims in later on. So we got, and I'm not sure how to say this. So Louis Besuma, Bessemer, yeah, and Harriet Lowe. Now both grocers again, or he's a grocer at least, and it shows you the prejudice of the day because obviously he was attacked, and they blamed his staff, who was an African American. A young lad who'd been working for a week.
Oh, so he got the blame.
He got the blame for it, but they didn't have enough evidence on him.
What did you say he was black?
Yeah, and even though Harriet Lowe said that it wasn't a black guy, but police, because of the prejudice in the day, police just believed.
Oh yeah.
We'll
nail that black guy and we'll look like heroes.
Yeah, when look like heroes. When there was no evidence, so he was let off. He wasn't. Yeah, so it's the same routine again as while they was. Sorry.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, Louis Ubicon, a 14-year-old African-American man, had been employed in the grocery just a week before the attacks. No evidence existed which could have proved Ubicon guilty, yet police arrested him nonetheless.
So, but it's the same routine again. So the Axeman's gone in, and Basuma was struck with a hatchet above his right temple, which resulted in a possible skull fracture.
Oh.
Lowe was hacked over her left ear, and the left side, and on one side of her face was permanently paralysed.
Oh.
This couple was discovered in the morning, so they didn't die from this.
Oh.
You know, you think you've been that hard.
I'd rather die.
Yeah, with a hatchet, and these two went on for further scandals. I mean, nothing to do with the Axeman.
Yeah,
but they went on. Yeah, so him being accused of being a German spy, and
it goes so in depth. Doesn't
yes,
it?
yeah.
Well, again, it's like I don't know, the Jack the Ripper. All these theories, like wasn't it fucking what's it called when you get your pierced?
Oh, what's it? Prince Albert.
Yeah, that's how I remember.
Yeah.
Because Prince Albert was one of the possible suspects of Jack the Ripper, and it's like, come on, Like you looked so hard into it because it's a mystery.
Look
isn't
at
it?
Prince Andrew. If somebody said that, I'd be like, yeah, actually.
No, they're too old.
Yeah, no.
They're way too old for
He
him.
can't run fast. He can't sweat. He's got a physical condition where he can't sweat.
You know.
Why have we heard nothing about that recently? Anyway,
There's a series, isn't there, that's come
Is there?
out,
Is
and
there?
it's Gillian Anderson, your X-Files. It's about that interview,
Her
and she
Majesty's
plays
Ring
the
or something.
interviewer, the woman, and it's I know the actor. He was from. Have you ever seen what's it called? Man on the Hill. Is it called Man on the Hill? Anyway, it's a guy in that anyway, and he plays Prince Andrew. And I've seen because I got him on Instagram, follow him on Instagram, and you can see him like taking photos of him doing the makeup, and he does look like him. They've done him all up. Like, I haven't seen the series, but yeah, it sounds
I have
good.
to watch that when it comes out. But yeah.
So we got Louis Bessemer and Harriet Lowe. So they're greengrocers. The African American guy got let off.
Yes, yeah. But so, well, in the morning after this attack, they're lying there, severely injured, you know, almost dying. They've been discovered by somebody doing a delivery to the grocery store.
Right.
So you got to think what he saw, and you know, pulling up and seeing these two people who've been hatcheted to death but are still alive.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a gruesome sight in its own.
Oh, so the next day was delivering and found him. Like.
Yes, yeah.
Right,
so
okay.
he's found them, but they both went on, and as I say, they were both part of further media scandals. Both of these victims,
Right.
where you know she accused, you know, because it was during the time of World War One, accused Louis of being a German spy, and he was taken into prison but no evidence and let go, and yeah, and then he was. It goes on, and she was on her deathbed not so long after, and he was arrested for suspicion.
Yeah, I might have some info on this. So it says. Lowe became the centre of a media circus as she continually made scandalous and often false statements relating to both the attacks and the character of Bessemer. After Bessemer fell under suspicion of espionage, that's the spy shit, isn't it? Following the discovery of foreign written letters in his possession, Lowe told police that she thought he was a German spy, resulting in his immediate arrest. He was released 2 days later. In August 1918, Bessemer was arrested again after Lowe, by then on her deathbed following failed surgery, named him as her assailant. Bessemer was charged with murder and served 9 months in prison before being acquitted on May the 1st, 1919, after a 10-minute jury deliberation. So she said he did it.
Yeah, but no, as an assailant. So what, have they committed another crime? This is what.
So is she saying that he was involved in their attacks when he got hacked as well?
I'm not. That's quite vague, isn't it? That's
like, what's she on about? Yeah, so she. Yeah,
he was an assailant in it, and
so yeah,
in that crime or another crime is this?
Lowe on her deathbed after failed surgery named him as her assailant. So what? He's lying in bed.
God, she's lying in bed on a yeah, but say like actually no, it was.
But they were in bed together, got hacked by this dude, and then she's later gone. Well, it was him. What? It doesn't make sense.
Not unless there was another crime. He was the assailant to another crime that they.
It doesn't say anything, does it?
Yeah.
So right, next.
Anyway,
victim.
yeah. So your next victim, I believe this one.
Anna Schneider.
Anna Schneider, yes, and I believe her husband. Yes, so Anna, what was the incredible one? Oh, sorry, yeah, Anna's the incredible one because she was hacked.
Yeah, you know more about this actually.
Yeah, well, during the early hours. Sorry, here's a bit of information to give you some context. Is during the early hours of August 5th, 1918, 28-year-old Anne Schneider, and I'll mention that bit after, awoke to find a dark figure standing over her and was bashed in the face repeatedly. Her scalp was cut open, her face was covered in blood, and it was discovered after midnight by her husband, Ed Schneider, as he returned late from work. Anna claimed that she remembered nothing of the attack, and the most incredible. This is why Anna's quite incredible. She was 8 months pregnant while this happened, and a couple of weeks later, after the attack, successfully gave birth.
Wow!
Survived the attack and then gave birth. Within.
So she's lost a shitload of blood.
Yeah.
She's gone into like a panic shock mode.
Her husband's found her unconscious, and she's been in,
And especially back then, with like in the medical attention wasn't as advanced as it is now.
No, you got to think the fight in that woman to. Yeah. That's quite amazing, isn't it? So.
Healthy baby girl. 2 days later.
2 days later, So Ed told police that nothing was stolen from the house besides $6 or $7 that had been in his wallet. The windows and doors of the couple's apartment appeared to have not been forced open. The authorities came to the conclusion that the woman was most likely attacked with a lamp. that had been on a nearby table.
So he's probably gone
he's
in there and gone,
bludgeoned her
he's
to
like,
death,
shit,
yeah.
there isn't an axe.
There isn't an axe.
He's
crap.
found the nearest thing that's
Yeah.
heavy.
But he must have stalked this victim to know she was going to be on her own.
True.
Yeah,
True.
there must have been some.
That's another pattern as well with other
Yeah.
serial killers. I think the BTK one, when he broke into this house, because he followed this woman for a couple of weeks, right? Knew where she lived, her routine and all that, right? I like talking about BTK.
Yeah,
Yeah. He's got a lot of elements that, you know, all
Yes,
fit this pattern.
yeah.
And when he one day thought, right, this is the day. So he broke into a house when she wasn't in. She was coming home from work, and he set up all this stuff, and he was waiting for her, but she didn't turn up. And then another time, she turned up with her brother, and then he's like, shit, there's a bloke here. He's going to put up a fight. So that's why they get the women alone, because they don't need to do as much work. That you know, and that dude. There was one time with BTK where she returned home with her brother. There was a big fight, and eventually, I think BTK shot this guy in the head. He fucking got back up and ran out the house. So BTK was like, shit, and obviously did one. And that's when people were closing in on him because he could recognise him and told him like what he looked like and what he sounded like, blah blah blah. And that's what happened. So it's like, that's why he's done his work and gone, right, she should be alone.
She should be alone by now. Yeah, knowing her husband's out and
Heavily pregnant. She isn't going to put up much of a fight.
yeah, But yeah, like how sick have you got to be to attack somebody? Well, one, to attack anybody. Two, to attack somebody 8 months pregnant.
You know
Like,
what
you
gets-
can't be more obvious,
Yeah,
can you?
what gets me is when people attack really, really like old people.
Yeah, that's the worst. Yeah,
Like, you know, if they
Is it-
attempt to rob them but they beat them up at the same time, it's like, leave them alone, man. Come on.
yeah, and you often hear people dying about that. I remember meeting somebody on the bus, and he said something about like him and his mates did over at a post office, and he pushed somebody and they hit their head, and he went down, with not manslaughter because near attempted murder charge.
Yeah.
Even though they pushed him to get out of the way. It was just like, just don't rob him. Just
Yeah.
don't go get go get a job, mate. No.
Yeah. Well, it's like, people that rob banks, they turn up with guns and stuff. They don't intend to kill people,
No, it's just a deterrent.
but it does happen.
Yeah.
Because some people might put up a fight or whatever, But anyway, so, Anna Schneider, she gave birth 2 days later. So James Gleason, who police said was an ex-convict, was arrested shortly after Anna was found. He was later released due to lack of evidence. Lead investigators began to publicly speculate that the attack was related to the previous incidents, Bessemer and Maggio incidents. So they're linking it now. So that's, there's a pattern. So
In fact, he's breaking into houses
Yeah.
and using their own things. Even though he's known as the axe murderer, and he's used a hatchet and an axe
Yeah.
in his previous two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
or his previous
they've
four,
linked
sorry.
it because they've obviously, like I said before, they've gone in and gone, well, the last couple, they had axes and he's used them. This one, there wasn't an axe, so he's used that. So they've linked it together.
And
But
he's used a lamp, and you've got to think lamps in the day were probably like cast bronze,
Yeah, massive
or
things.
brass, sorry, or
yeah,
or
not like little IKEA things you get now. Like,
where it just break over your head,
like an egg.
Yeah.
Right, next
sorry,
next
Bill.
victim is Joseph Romano.
Which is surprising with, as I say, he targeted Anna Schneider.
Maybe,
Joseph
though,
Romano.
for all we know, maybe he did want or expect the husband to be home. Because he did kill the couples last time.
Yeah, he's not afraid to go in there when they're asleep.
Yeah,
both of them in bed, and
the thing is, he seems quite confident because he's doing it regularly, and he's hoping that there's a weapon in the house, and obviously the lamp, there was one in there.
from what suspect, people who've survived his attacks have said that he's a big bloke.
Right.
He's a big bloke, so I don't think he's.
That's why he's probably confident. Cause
He's confident
if
walking
there's no
in there,
weapons in
even
there,
if the man's there. Even if the man's there, I'm still confident.
Yeah.
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 No, unless they've got a weapon, I'm pretty. And usually they're getting out of bed, so they haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So where are we at now? Joseph Romano, 10th of August 1918.
Okay, so on the 10th of August 1918, Pauline and Mary Bruno awoke to the sound of commotion in the adjoining room where their elderly uncle lived, Joseph Romano. Upon entering the room, the sisters discovered Romano has taken serious blows to the head, which resulted in 2 open cuts. An assailant was fleeing the scene as they arrived. Yet the girls were able to distinguish that he was a dark-skinned, heavy-set man who wore dark suit and slouched hat. I mean, slouched hat sounds fun. What's a slouched hat? A cowboy hat.
don't know. Like a fedora, but maybe just pushed out, like covering his eyes. A bit,
Yes, it's sort of slouched over.
I think they wore a lot of those, didn't they?
Yeah, Romano was able to walk to the ambulance once it arrived, yet died 2 days later due to severe head trauma. His home was ransacked, yet no items were stolen. Authorities found a bloody axe in the backyard and discovered that the panel of the back door had been kicked in, or chiseled away and kicked in.
So we've established now he was a dark-skinned, heavy-set man who wore a dark suit and slouched hat. So was he black, or was he like just?
I mean, dark skin. You think some Italians are.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
he's attacking a lot of Italians.
Yeah, and heavy set, so he's a big bloke.
And also, these weren't Italian people. Well, Joseph Romano maybe, but Anna Schneider.
That's the very.
So
yeah.
They might think that was a theory, wasn't it? That might not have been his mindset. He might not have gone out and gone, "I want to kill Italians." He might have just coincidentally killed it because there were a lot of Italians that lived there.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the first two being. Greengrocers.
Yeah,
and you got to think. It does make you speculate this mafia, or maybe not mafia, but the racket. The fact that they've both been greengrocers and he's attacked them both, and knowing how rackets work, and is that
he's interrupting their rackets.
Yeah. Or is it a part of their racket where they haven't? He's offering protection, or even though a grocery you wouldn't really need protection, you'd think, but in that day you'd take advantage of what you can get.
They had their fingers in everything, didn't they?
So I mean it's speculation, but there's a lot of speculation around who he was, and there's a name that flies up quite a lot with Joseph Monfrey, which is a popular name. Monfrey's a big name in New Orleans at the time.
Like a French name, isn't it?
Yes, but but this Monfrey name comes up quite often when it comes to authors that have wrote and speculated about who it could be, and
they think it was him.
Yes,
right.
And he's obviously had connections with mobsters and
see.
So I'll go into that. I've got some notes here. I'll go into more detail about that. So
we got so Joseph Romano, after they found the bloody axe in the backyard and the door chiseled away. The murder created a state of extreme chaos in New Orleans, with residents living in constant fear of the AXEMAN attack. Police received a slew of reports in which citizens claimed to have seen the killer lurking in local neighbourhoods. A few men even called to report that they found axes in their backyard. John D'Antonio, a then retired Italian detective, made public statements in which he hypothesised that the man who had committed the recent murders was the same who had killed several individuals in 1911. D'Antonio described the potential killer as an individual of dual personalities who killed without motive, which I actually am starting to believe more, because when they said like anti-Italian dude, it seems like he might be Italian himself, but also he's killed non-Italians, so there isn't that pattern there. So
it's just a random attack,
and he hasn't robbed any of them, so that's like he just wants to kill people. But I just think there is no motive. He's just found the easiest target. He's had a look around,
just walking around the street,
and he's gone, I could get away with that.
Yeah, they've gone to bed.
There's an easy there's an easy way out of the back, So this type of individual, D'Antonio stated, could very likely have been a normal, law-abiding citizen who was often overcome by overwhelming desire to kill. He later went on to describe the killer as a real-life Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde, which I think, because due to the letter, he thinks he's some fucking demon spirit. Some letters might be like, haha, you can't catch me, I'm going to kill more people, that's it. But he's gone into this whole, I'm a spirit and you're like a lesser being as a human.
Well, I mean, this is before the letter, so I think the media have bigged him up.
Right.
And then he's gone, do you know what? Yeah, you're right, and I am all these things. Because
they're kissing his arse. That's another way I think the press acted, and the police. They would deliberately put stuff in the press to bring him out of his cave, to say something.
Calling him the Axeman,
to catch him out, and big up his ego. So he might make a mistake because they think he's like when police do press conferences, which back in the day, like in the Yorkshire Ripper killers, they made this massive mistake where they did a press conference and the police were saying, basically, we can't find this guy and we're fucked, basically, in so many words, which was a massive, because they didn't have media training back then to say certain things. So they fucked up because, one, that scares the public.
Yeah.
And two, it makes the killer go, ha!
I got away with it.
I'm going to do even more of it now. Yeah. So
I'm too good for you. Yeah. I'm too good for you.
So with this sort of stuff, I think what they've done in the press is like put like the Axeman is on the loose and da-da-da, and they've made, you know, he sneaks through alleyways into your door and does this and that, and he's reading it going, I'm in the paper.
Yeah.
If
I do it again, I'll be in the paper
it's
again.
It's bigging him up,
Yeah.
so there's a reason to do it. So he might, you know, bring him out to make a mistake, or just other ways of actually, you know, it's not just a newspaper article. There's a reason behind it.
Yes, yeah.
So it's quite clever. So next one.
I mean, he did wait a while to the next one, didn't he?
So this is 1919.
Yeah, but March 10th, so August to March.
So what's 6 months?
A bit longer than
June,
that, isn't
August, September, October, November, December, January, February, 7 months.
it? 7 months, yeah.
Which is,
and
again,
this,
another thing.
Even before, this is before the letter as well.
Okay.
So,
Well,
the Cortemelia family.
Yeah, this is another weird thing with killers that I find, is some of them will wait years. And they've got this urge to kill, which they're obviously trying to suppress because they might have a family. They're like BTK again, had a nice normal family. The daughter.
He doesn't want to be like this, but he's still got that
trying
urge.
hard. So you'll see after, because BTK again, he went like 15 years before anything happened again. They were like, oh, is he dead, or you know?
Has he moved?
So he's waited 7 months.
Reformed?
So what's he doing in these 7 months? Because he must have stalked this family, saw him about, and gone, I can do that. But why has he waited 7 months when
Or
previously?
is it what you say again? It's a random attack where he's been walking the street and thought the dust is blown over.
Yeah.
You know, like he's not gone for one each week, has he? You think
Yeah.
in 1918?
And they're not stupid. They're going to wait a while to see if
Well,
people.
she's saying that. I mean, Anna Schneider and Joseph Romano were within 5 days of each other.
Weird.
Yeah.
So what I think what he's done, he's had this urge to kill. He's killed a couple because he can't help the urge. Then he's realised that shit, no one can find me. But then I think he's played it safe and gone, no, they've said that, like, you know, they can't find me, so I'm gonna wait, because if I do it next week, I'll slip up because they might be all eyes everywhere. But after 7 months, they might have other shit to do, you know, and it might be a little bit lesser under the pile.
Yeah, and,
So-
you think, I especially after Anna Schneider, and you know being pregnant and giving birth 2 days later, you can imagine people must have been up in arms in the streets.
Yeah.
You know, pitchforks and
Yeah.
and then-
Like again, the Jack the Ripper. When it all, you know, a couple after a couple of victims, everyone, because it was probably all prostitutes. All the prostitutes were obviously being extra safe. They might have had police more on the beat, so he would have waited longer. So they might have just gone one night. They're not on the beat as much. There's less coppers and whatever, and he can slip in. So I think he's done this, which, you know, it's settled down a bit more. Which, you know, common sense, where you see some people that do it every other week, and it's like, come on, mate, calm down.
Well, even just one, one's enough.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And after Anna Schneider, you think, I can't do this again.
Yeah, like, I didn't know that. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she was pregnant, and
So we've got now the
Cortemelia
Cortemelia
family.
family.
This is the worst one. I found
And they're obviously
anyway.
Italian. So
Yeah,
that's-
Cortemelia.
But
Yeah.
do you think personally he is attacking Italians on purpose?
I think
or,
there's just a large Italian
yeah,
population.
and he's picked any family that he doesn't even know their name or
Yes, yeah.
their origin, and he's gone, oh, actually Italian doesn't, you know.
It doesn't matter to me. Yeah, since we've had a Schneider and a Bessemer. Yeah, but so the Cortemelia family, which were Italian immigrant Charles Cortemelia and his family, wife Rosie, and infant daughter Mary, were attacked in their residence on the corner of Jefferson Avenue and 2nd Street in Gretna, Louisiana, as a New Orleans suburb. Upon hearing screams from the Cortemelia residents, another grocer, Giordano, rushed across the street to investigate. He discovered that the Cortemelia's family had all been attacked by the Axeman. Charles and Rosie had both suffered skull fractures from the blows caused by the axe, which was found on their back porch. Mary, the 2-year-old, was killed in her mother's arms from a blow to the back of the neck.
Shit.
Nothing was stolen from the house. Again, the panel of the back door was chiselled away. So he's gone in the same way.
Yeah.
But to kill, right? So he's obviously actually insane, you know, and a complete and utter psychopath. It's not about retributions or being, you know, it's not about a targeted family. He's not going after Italians and
he's
just killing.
Probably schizophrenic, delusional. He's certified insane.
Yes,
you know.
and most certainly a narcissist in. You know, which comes out in the whole letter.
And I think
doesn't
what he's done there, because the baby was in the mother's arms, and
as a form of torture.
And no, I think and the husband was there. it's easier, like say, in his mindset, it's easier for him to just hack away and the baby's in the way. I don't think he's gone like, oh, I'll kill that baby as well. Like, he hasn't thought, I'll kill a baby. He probably didn't want to, but maybe it's just because it was easy, rather than like, can you put that baby down?
Can you imagine that poor mother and child cowering in the corner? So the first thing, to die in their arms. So she's either been in bed with them ready, or
and the dad's watching it like,
or you probably hit her for.
Get the biggest one out of the way.
But and the fact that those two, the parents have survived and their 2-year-old daughter, it's heartbreaking, isn't it?
I just find it. I don't know, because the baby was in the arms. I think he's just, because it's there in the way, you might as well just do it, and it's all in one basically, rather than going like, give me your baby and I'm going to do things to it and kill it. I don't think he's targeted. He hasn't got a thing for killing children. I don't think he's just done it because it was there. Which obviously I'm not saying it's any better.
The thing of leaving behind no evidence and
because if he had
no suspects,
but because if he wanted to kill babies, he could sneak in someone's house and go in the cot and kill a baby. Do you know what I mean? But this one, I think it was just collateral damage.
Yes, yeah. He's been hacking away.
Yeah, because it's in the mother's arms.
Yeah,
but he could have easily said, "Can you put the baby down?"
Well, after the mother had regained full consciousness, she actually blamed Giordano and his 18-year-old son.
So he was Giordano again.
Giordano was the person that heard the.
From across the street.
Across the street,
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, where is it? Giordano and his 18-year-old son Frank were responsible for the attacks. Giordano, a 69-year-old man, was in too poor health to have done this. Frank, more than 6 feet tall and weighing over 200 pounds, would have been too large to fit through the panel of the back door. So So I think that's speculation. She's woke up and obviously she's lost a child. And
mate, I'm just reading read the next bit.
Later found guilty, Frank was sentenced to hang. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
So the 18-year-old boy was sentenced, and his father life in prison. Charles divorced his wife after the trial. Almost a year later, Rosie admitted that she had falsely accused the Giordanos out of jealousy and spite, resulting in their release.
Oh, thank fuck for that.
So he was sentenced to hang, but he didn't hang.
Okay. So they got him in time. So she admitted
almost a year later.
I wonder, because it doesn't say. I wonder what happened to Rosie then, because she should have fucking got sent down for that.
She should have done. You think?
Because that old man would have died in prison, and that young boy would have got hanged.
Out of spite.
And they ran over to help him. Out of jealousy and spite. Mate, I could be jealous of someone. I don't want him to go to fucking prison and get hanged. Wow.
Like, fair play to is Charles saying she's wrong. Yet police did nothing.
Yeah, so Charles was like, no, it wasn't them. And they physically proved that the old man couldn't do it because he's too ill, and the back door, they couldn't fit through it.
Yeah.
So it's obvious that they didn't do it, and Charles was going, nah, bitch, it wasn't them. And she's going, yeah, it was.
It was, yeah.
I'm jealous of their new sofas.
Yeah, we can have all of their stuff.
Yeah. Jesus.
Yeah, we'll get their grocery store.
Well, I'm going to look, like, if you want us to do the next victim.
Yeah, so Steve Bocker. So we should say the Cortemelia family, March 10th. Now, the letter... And obviously, it must have been put into the media in the day. The New Orleans press must have got onto it, especially about a 2-year-old child being murdered. Now, the letter came out on, I believe, May 10th, was it? Let me just double check. I'll flick through this bloody book.
Yeah, you got a nice book to read through.
Yeah, no, it's all right, isn't it?
Because we were talking about doing it, and then you went, "Oh, my girlfriend's actually got a book on it."
I've got a book on this, yeah. So May 6th. So now this is where his full narcissism and his full, I am the Axeman.
How many victims has he got under his belt now? About fucking.
Well, he's got he's Cortemelia.
And that was.
So he killed.
About 6, innit?
Yeah, so he killed the Maggios. His first known victims. He killed the Maggios.
Bessemer and Lowe.
Bessemer and Lowe both survived. So that's 4 victims, but 2 dead. Anne Schneider, and then Joseph Romano, and then the Cortemelia family. So. He's not very efficient since.
Yeah, he hasn't got a lot of murders.
Yeah, Bessemer and Lowe survived, Schneider survived, Romano survived, and 2 out of 3 of the Cortemelia family, admittedly being, the 2-year-old girl, which is
yeah.
So and then obviously he's accepted that he's the Axeman, and then esteemed mortal. His letter has come out where he's said, "I am a satanic majesty," and You shall keep me company down here.
Mate,
My
I'm trying
next
to
victim,
find.
he's bragging. He's
Yeah,
bragging, isn't he?
He's at this point where he thinks I'm
It's been
untouchable.
a year now. It's been a year.
Yeah.
And you haven't got me.
Yeah, and the thing is, if that was me, I'd be the same. I'd be like, fucking sound, I'm doing it. I can do it.
Yeah.
No one's gonna
Yeah,
catch
and
me.
I'm going to torment you about
Same
it
as
well.
so one of our other episodes, which people listening should really listen to, because it was Samuel Little, who is this. He's considered the most prolific serial killer of American all time. Right, and he was an African American guy who killed predominantly black prostitutes, right? So you can imagine this was in the 60s, 70s.
Oh, so the police do nothing.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
I was
They don't
gonna
care.
say.
They don't care.
Yeah, so they were pushed to the bottom of the pile, and it got to the point where I've seen interviews with him. He's died since, but just quickly on the offside. So with Samuel Little, so Weezer, the band Weezer.
Yes, yeah.
So the bassist's wife, I can't remember her name now, but she did a whole thing where she got to know him on purpose, right? There's footage of it. He'd ring her in the middle of the night and say really weird shit, and she was creeped out by him, hated him, right? But had to go and see it because there was a load of victims unidentified and victims that they thought were connected to him. So she was trying to basically go, hey, baby, to get it out of him. Right.
Well, they're almost undercover.
She was a journalist and stuff, but she was attractive and young, and knew that she could probably, get him out, get the info out of him. Anyway, my point is, he got to the point after like a fair few victims over like 5-10 years because he didn't get caught. He said in one interview that he killed this woman because he used to pick them up, like strangle them, and I think that's how he killed them. And to dump them, he started to like dig this grave, right? And he said in an interview, he goes, you know what? I thought, fuck it, I'll just dump her in a shallow grave in the open because I ain't been caught. That's what he did eventually. He used to bury them as much as he could, but then he got to a point where he goes, fuck it, I'm not spending 4 hours digging a grave.
Yeah.
I'll find it anyway, I won't link it. So yeah. So this is what he's doing. He's like, sound. I'm going to write a letter. I'm going to go, ha, 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 I'm this, I'm better than
mad,
you.
isn't it?
They all do it, man.
Mm.
And like, again, with BTK, he didn't do it for a long, long time, right? And I think they released something like in the press saying like, where is BTK? As it's been a long time. And it was partly because they wanted him to go, ooh, they're writing about me.
Yeah.
That's
Another
appealing to my
another
like
chance for
narcissism.
it,
So he then would pop out of the woodwork, so it's quite clever. But yeah, so where are we at now with
so Steve Bocker.
Yeah.
So another grocer. August 10th now. So August 10th, 1919.
There's a lot of grocers.
It is, isn't it?
You get fresh fruit and veg everywhere.
Well, at least steal it if you're doing you're doing a grocery.
He nicked $7 out that guy's thing. Just nick all the fresh fruit and that.
You'd be sorted. Or at least the booze.
Yeah.
I don't know if they sold booze. That was probably they
Yeah.
probably had different shops back in the day. It's not like going to Tesco.
And this was actually this is before Prohibition as well.
Oh, it is
1920 was Prohibition, wasn't it?
Yeah. So Steve Bocker was attacked as he slept in his bedroom by an axe-wielding intruder. Bocker awoke during the night to find a dark figure looming over his bed. Upon regaining consciousness, Bocker ran to the street to investigate the intrusion and found that his head had been cracked open. The grocer ran to the home of his neighbour, Frank Janusa, we'll say, where he lost consciousness and collapsed. Nothing had been taken from the home yet. Once again, a panel on the back door of the home had been chiselled away. Bocker recovered from his injuries, but could not remember any details of the attack. The attack took place after the emergence of the infamous AXEMAN's letter.
Ah, right.
So this was the first attack after the letter.
So this was. I want to find how long it was after the letter. So August the 10th, 1919 was Steve Bocker, right?
Yeah, and then
the
May
letter
6th.
was March 13th, 1919. March 13th, 1919.
Oh, is it? Yeah, sorry, the book says May 6th.
March,
here.
June, July. So 3 months later.
Sorry, no, the book just says. That's why I was getting the letter.
On the letter. Oh.
Yeah.
Right.
No, the book could be. It is.
It was a few months. Anyway.
Yeah, it's a month in it.
So that's another one. So Steve Bocker, he survived, but couldn't remember anything. Had a cracked open thing. Then the next one, we got September 1919. So that's August, June, July, 4 months later.
Sarah Lawman. Or
Sarah Lauman. On the night of September the 3rd, 1919, Sarah Lauman was attacked in her apartment. Neighbours came to check on the young woman who had lived alone and broke into the home when Lauman did not answer. They discovered the 19-year-old lying unconscious on her bed, suffering from a severe head injury and missing several teeth. The intruder... I was smashed in the mouth with an axe. The intruder had entered the apartment through an open window and attacked Lauman with a blunt object. A bloody axe was discovered on the front lawn of the building. Lauman recovered from her injuries, yet couldn't recall any details. So that's another thing. He's probably thinking, well, I'll smash them over the head, and if they don't die, they won't remember anything anyway. It might be a coincidence. But yeah, so that was another one. Then we got October the 27th, 1919. So that's a month and a bit later. The wife of Mike Pepitone was awakened by a noise and arrived at the door of her husband's bedroom just as a large axe-wielding man was fleeing the scene. Pepitone had been struck in the head and was covered in his own blood. Blood spatter covered the majority of the room, including a painting of the Virgin Mary. I don't really know why they've added that in, but... Oh, someone's ringing me. I don't know. I get weirded out by phone calls because I ain't got many friends.
I'm exactly the same. It's like people wanting money.
I'm like, yeah, mate.
You either want money or me.
Plus 4424. Yeah, I'm not answering that.
Yeah,
it's either that or my mum or you.
Yeah.
Like, shit, why is my mum ringing me? Anyway, so we got
painting of the Virgin Mary.
Yeah,
I see what you like. Why mention that? But you think everyone was so religious in their day.
Yeah.
You know, it was very unusual not to have a picture of a saint.
Like now, when we were younger, or whatever, Theo got hit over the head with an axe, and the blood splattered all over a picture of Bob Dylan.
Yeah.
Like what?
All over his. Yeah.
Why?
Why mention that?
So Pepitone's wife, the mother of 6 children, was unable to describe any characteristics of the killer other than large. The Pepitone murder was the last of the alleged Axeman attacks. So, what I don't understand from now, why did he stop?
So, yes, there's that, and also, I'm trying to just find out where the rest of the victims were, because it's claimed that he killed 6 people, but I'm only counting.
Yeah, because
how many? So Mike, Joseph, and Catherine Maggio.
It says here 6 dead and 6 injured, according to the internet.
So they survived. So 2,
Tinternet.
3, 4. Oh, yeah, I can only, so 1911. They must count the attack in 1911 to be the Axeman.
Yeah.
And count it as an Axeman's attack.
Yeah.
Yes.
So he's gone from 1911 to 1918.
7 years between, and obviously, well, that's. I'm trying to find the 1911 attack.
Yeah, I can't find because I put talking about Rosie Cortemelia before, the one that accused her neighbours. I've put a name into Google and it just comes up with the Axeman in New Orleans. I can't find any background because she must have been prosecuted. Really, if you wrongly accuse someone
and then sentenced to death
and life in prison.
Misjustice? No, there is a name for it, isn't there? I forgot it.
Perverting the course of justice.
Thank you. Perverting the course of justice.
You're perverting. But yeah, so she, what's it called? Rosie Cortemelia, perverting the course of justice because she blamed it on the neighbours because she was jealous of them. So
it's a bit, it's
for attempted murder.
She's lost her 2-year-old daughter who was murdered in her arms.
And she just blames the neighbours.
It would be traumatic. You got to think.
Yeah,
that's
another factor.
And then maybe then when she woke up and found the Giordano's standing over them, you might jump to conclusion.
True.
But,
true.
Yeah, when it's proved wrong, and even your husband's telling you, no, you're wrong.
Yeah,
you can't accuse these people.
So there's a background section of the notes, and it says the majority of the Axeman's victims were Italian immigrants or Italian Americans, leading many to believe that the crimes are ethnically motivated. Many media outlets sensationalized this aspect of the crimes, even suggesting mafia involvement despite the lack of evidence. Some crime analysts have suggested that the killings were sexually motivated and that the murderer was perhaps a sexual sadist, specifically seeking female victims.
So this is where the very last, and this is where it all comes into play, basically, with the Mumfreys and the Pepto. According to scholar Richard Warner, the chief suspect in the crimes was Frank Doc Mumfrey.
The chief suspect?
Yeah, the chief suspect. So according to the scholar Richard Warner, the chief suspect in the crimes of the Axeman was Frank Doc Mumfrey, who used the alias Leon Joseph Mumfrey. The Mumfreys' Garden District jazz business, previously struggling, was noted by many in the community as seemingly doing unusually good business once the city was compelled by the threat of violence to hire jazz bands and play jazz records. So they think
this Mumfrey guy
he owns a jazz
jazz business.
Yeah.
And it wasn't doing very well. So then he goes out and kills fucking...
Yeah, and says you've got to play jazz, basically. So, sorry,
Mate.
The way I read that, I was laughing at the same
I'm
time.
sorry, you know what, right, Theo? I've always thought that people that really like jazz are strange. And this just backs me up, mate. This just backs it up.
And I'm going to go out and murder... No, the company's struggling, mate. I know. What we'll do is we'll become like a jazz vigilante.
Should we just go in and hack people to death
Yeah,
and
and
tell
then
them to play jazz?
Tell them to play jazz, otherwise...
Didn't they say, though, there was like a few nights in a row because he said that on this date, and he said New Orleans was just booming with
jazz. He's probably walking around like, this is what I want, man.
Fucking Jesus. Man.
I still can't find anything on the 1911 killing.
No. Because if it's there, to just as a starting point, there must be some sort of fucking proof there somewhere. I mean, come on, internet. The internet knows everything.
No, it's not in this book either. It's
1911 AXEMAN murders. But was it with an axe back then?
I think there was something about he shot them. So in 1911,
right,
yeah.
yeah.
So it wasn't. Obviously, he didn't call them the Axeman.
Yeah, it says press reports during the height of the public panic over the killings and they mentioned similar crimes as early as 1911. But recent researchers have called these reports into question. The attacker obviously never identified, and it was unsolved. So, but they've just kind of briefly said, "Oh yeah, they're similar to 1911." Well,
but
what were the 19?
But they've given the kills on his head. He's had those stripes, hasn't he? Since six dead, 12 victims, 6 dead.
Yeah.
So they've given the 1911 shooting killings.
They've put them into it.
They put them into it.
But how though?
And then 7 years till his actual Axeman starts.
I want to know the background, because where was it? Were they in New Orleans?
It was still in New Orleans at the time. I can't find it. I found it earlier.
It's really strange. Anyway, right, because this is going to bug us and we'll be talking about it forever. We were planning, well, we made a plan, didn't we, to give each other a country.
Yes, yeah.
And find, but like a fucking gnarly...
5 minute hit.
Yeah.
That's
and
it.
I gave you what country?
It was Bulgaria you gave me.
And you gave me...
I gave you Switzerland, because I believe they would be too happy to have any...
So it was a challenge.
It was a challenge, yeah. But I bet there's some medical genius that became a serial killer.
It's like Canada. They're just really nice. They can't, but there is loads of them.
Don't do that, eh?
yeah. Just be nice.
So yes, well, would you like?
Did you find then? The
Okay,
Bulgarian
so
one?
I found Bulgaria's. The best story was Bulgaria's first registered serial killer, a fella called Sokrat Albert Kirschveng, and quite a cunning man as well. So I'll give you the introduction. I know it's
why are you laughing?
So Sokrat Albert Kirschveng, known as the killer with the adze. Now an adze is like a sort of a sickle and a scythe.
All right.
It's similar to that. It's a farm tool. A big with a big blade on the.
What's it called?
An adze. ADZE.
ADZE. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Let's have another
like a
look.
little plough thing.
That's it. Yeah. So it's like a sharp.
It's an
pickaxe.
ancient and versatile cutting tool, similar to an axe, but with the cutting edge perpendicular to the handle.
Yes. Yeah. You see them a lot for like chipping wood.
Yeah.
Very.
The Axeman could have done with that.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
hide it
quite handy.
away. Yeah.
Put it in his
put
long
it
coat.
perpendicular then.
Yeah. quick and easy.
Yeah. Instead of hacking off ears.
Yeah. He just jumped into the house and gone, I hope they got a fucking axe.
And handheld as well. Handheld.
Yeah. Exactly. Fuck dragging that big thing around.
Yeah. So anyway, so the killer with the adze. Between 1919 and 1937, he murdered 2 of his wives, his aunt and her husband.
Whoa.
Also attempting to murder his 3rd wife. He was hanged for his crimes in April, the 14th of April, 1937. Now, let's go into this because some of it, wow.
Sounded like he got away with it for a while.
He did get away with it. Cunning bloke.
Go on then.
Okay, you're ready.
Because I've never heard of this guy.
Have you? Okay, so... Okay, Sokrat Kirschveng was born 1882 in the village of Alino, which is just outside the capital city of Sofia in Bulgaria.
Right.
And anyways, we skip his early life because he was just a normal peasant. You know,
Nothing to indicate.
Nothing to indicate. Yeah, he's. Well, no, actually saying that. Yeah, okay. So he was born with a slight defect on his shoulder. His parents died when he was very young. He was a young orphan. Was sent to Samakov, where he began work as an apprentice and later journeyman for a lumberjack. So I'm assuming that's the person that carries the. You know, you picks up and
yeah.
It's what you it's what you call an apprentice lumberjack.
Okay.
Is the journeyman.
Right.
And
it's a good band name.
Yeah, it is, isn't it? The journeyman. Kirschweng was considered a dapper man among his colleagues, wearing costumes from the latest Parisian fashion, Venetian bow ties, and as well as varnished shoes imported from Argentina. So
he does sound very dapper.
Right.
I tell you what, sorry, in every episode, or a few that I've done with Kevin in the past, there's always like, because you find some strange words when you look deep into like, especially like old cases.
Yeah.
And I think Adzi is a good one.
Adzi, yeah.
Never heard of that before, and it's a very simple
It is,
thing.
isn't it? It's a good name. Yeah, it's a good name for the Adzis.
And I was thinking before, like Mike Peppertone, I was like, you know, the Peppertones. It's a good band name. The Peppertones.
The Peppertones, yeah.
But Adzi, I think that's my favourite word in this episode. Yeah. So crack on with this Bulgarian.
Yeah.
I can't even remember his name. Socrates on it.
So Sokrat Kirschveng, and spelled Sokrat.
Sokrat.
Yeah. So in 1908, he married Elena Manova in Samakov, who later gave birth to 2 children, Alexander and Raina. However, Kirschving disliked the small-town life and his job, and he abandoned his family to travel to Sofia, the capital city, promising to come back with lots of money. There he met Vangelina Yurdanova, a tailor who has occasionally worked for the hospital. She immediately fell for him, and she allowed him to live with her in a small house, modern suburbs. So basically, he's got a wife and kids back home, and he's got with this new,
What a bastard!
So, yes, yeah. She immediately fell for him, modern suburb. Unaware that Kirschving had a family back in Samakov, in 1917 he was hired as a security guard. And I want to get into his crime. Sorry.
So he's abandoned his family, wife and 2 kids.
Well, actually,
got another bird.
Yeah, security. He got a job as a security guard, and given a service weapon. It says here. While working at the hospital, he fell in.
Someone else.
He fell in love with somebody else.
Jesus.
Fell in love with one of the hospital outliers, Tanika Nikolova. She was a young, beautiful woman, but was highly religious and refused Kirschveng's offers for marriage, as she knew he was married to Yurandanova, the other woman in Sofia, not the one back home.
He was twice married, actually.
Yeah, he was twice married, yeah. In response to this, the cunning man devised a plan to rid of his conhort. I can't say the word, sorry. But, to rid him of his wife. So the murder of Vangelina Yurandanova. So
he's killed his second wife to get with this third one.
No, so he's married. He's left her.
Married someone else.
Married somewhere else. And
fell in love again, but she's
fell in love
religious.
again, and now he's got to kill the second one
to get with the third one.
Yeah. So
I mean, just dump her.
Yeah. I don't know. But in the day, you know, I imagine they were quite Catholic in their day, or.
Yeah.
I'm not sure with Bulgaria. Yeah. One day, Kirschving returned home from work. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Seemingly panicked. He explained to his lover that he had stolen a large sum of money from the hospital, and that his scheme would be discovered soon. Yurandanova.
Just call her the third one.
Yeah. The second one. Right. Yurandanova then offered that both of them flee from the country, and taking the chance offered, Kirschving accepted. He instructed Yurandanova to write 2 letters, one to her mother and one to him. In the former, she explained to her mother that she stolen 15,000 leva, which is the currency of the day, from her lover and had to flee to Serbia. While the latter letter, Kirschving had to show it to the authorities to claim that the woman had robbed him. In the meantime, she had actually have to go to Serbia, where she would wait for Kirschving. So wait for Sokrat. They'll meet him there. I'll take the letter.
The third one.
Yeah, this is a letter to your mother to say that I need to flee. this is a letter to say that you stole the money from me and I'm fleeing you.
Right.
So yeah. He promised her that they would flee together to Dalmatia, where they would live happily. But they first retrieved the money, which he said was buried at cemetery in a cemetery. One night, we're not saying that name. Wow.
Skip these big names.
Yeah,
mate.
skip these big names. Don't make an arse out of yourself.
In a cemetery called.
Yeah. Well, I'm dyslexic anyway, so my reading's not the best
mate,
at the best of
Bulgarian names, mate.
Yeah. So one night in July, the duo took shovels and spade and went to the burial spot to dig up the loot. Kirschvang then explained that he was tired from working all day, and Urandanova, his wife, to dig instead. The woman was completely unaware that she was digging her own grave. So he's told her that we're going out there.
The third one?
Yeah, no, the second one. The one he wants to get rid of.
Right, okay.
Yeah, the one he wants to get rid of. So he's told her to go out.
So the third one, he's told to meet me somewhere, we'll flee with this money. And
No.
Yeah,
so
but in the meantime, he's trying to get rid of his second one.
He's told the second one that I've stolen the money.
Yeah.
We will flee together, but I've buried the money. So to cover it,
the third one's meeting him there, but he wants.
Well, no, the third one doesn't know anything about this. She just, she won't marry someone who's already married. Yeah.
Right.
So he's doing all of this to the second one.
This is the second one. Okay.
Yeah. So this is all to the second one. Right. So you're unaware that she's
I'm with you.
that she's digging her own grave. She dug for about an hour before Kirschvang, when he decided that the hole was deep enough, took out his service weapon and shot her in the back of the head, burying her shortly afterwards.
Shit.
So he's taken her there.
Made her bury.
No. It said like, oh, the money's here, but it's buried. It's buried. Oh no, it's really deep. So, and then said, I'm really tired. You carry on digging. I'm just gonna have a little break. And then
that is evil, man.
It's really fucking evil, isn't it? So he set her up the whole way. He set her up the entire way, saying like, oh, we've got. There's loads of money buried. You write to your mum saying that you're having to flee to another country, and then you write to me saying that you're fleeing me because you've stolen it, and then that way the police won't suspect me.
Yeah,
the police won't suspect me because you've got letters in your handwriting saying that you're fleeing.
Sly little bastard.
Yeah, so he got him there and then got rid of her. So
that is like
that's his second.
Putting a dog down, just pop in the back of the head.
Yeah. But
cheers for digging the grave, love.
Yeah. So right. So. And burying his body after.
So now this is one victim, his second wife.
The following day, the widower, being Sokrat, appeared in the hospital with water in his eyes, explaining to Nikolova, the third woman,
that he wants to get with. But she won't because he's already married.
Yeah, that the second one, Yerdanova,
she's coincidentally. Oh right, okay.
Yeah, had scammed him. So that's why the letters. Yeah,
and done one.
And fled with a lover to Serbia. So he's planned this down to the T. This is why he's a cunning man. Okay.
Just to get with this one woman.
Yeah. Fled with the lover. So. Yeah, and it goes on to go on to about their marriage. So he eventually, Nikolova and Kirschvang do get married.
Right, so this third religious one, it's all done.
It's all done, yeah.
My woman's left me, but I've shot her in the back of the head. She's dead in the grave.
Yeah, she's left me. We can get married now, and that's the whole reason he's done it.
Right.
So the murder of Elena Manova, his first wife.
So he's gone back to his
first wife.
What?
Yep. So despite his newfound lover being Nikolova, the thought of his wife and his children back in Samakov troubled Kirschvang's mind, deciding that he would go and get rid of her as well. Later that same year, he hired a cart driver named Dimitar Testkov, we'll say, to drive to Samkov, where he told his family that they were going to go live with him in the capital. On the way back near the village of Pancharev, Kirschvang told the driver that he and Manova, his wife, would go on a walk to a nearby path. And yes, sorry, it gets a bit with all the Bulgarian names. So they've gone up for a walk up the drive, and the driver took off with the children to the capital, delivering them to the to the capital.
The original plan.
Yes. Under the guise of showing my fucking reading. Under the guise of showing her his newly bought cherry garden, he tricked Manova into going towards the bushes, where he killed her using an adze. using his adzi. After a short while, the driver returned but noticed that Kirschfeng was alone. The man explained that his wife had decided to spontaneously visit some relatives in a nearby village for 1 or 2 days. Unexpectedly, the driver believed Kirschfeng's story and drove him home, which Kirschfeng managing to put the bloodied adzi in the on the backside of the cart. When they arrived at their destination, Kirschfeng immediately went to the police and blamed the driver for the killing of his wife. And after the authorities found the bloodied weapon, and the court sentenced the innocent cart driver to death and later hanged him.
Oh!
So you see, this man was a cunning little fucker. So he framed the driver.
Mate.
Right. So not only did he get his second wife or his first victim to cover his own story with her own handwriting and say that she's ran off. Right. He's killed his second wife, and then managed to blame the driver just by hiding the weapon.
So he hasn't just gone, maybe I could kill her now. Oh, let me think about it. He's planned it from the beginning.
He's planned it, yeah.
I'll get this
the driver out there, and you take the kids to you carry on with the kids. I'm just going to go show her my new cherry garden over here.
And he said to the driver, oh no, she's just fucked off, see family.
Yeah.
And then he's gone, oi, coppers, it's him.
He killed my wife.
And he got hanged for it.
He got hung for it. No, this poor, I can't say his second name, but Dimitar. Yeah,
Jesus, what a horrible man.
Yeah.
And I mean, they're all horrible, but like the fact he's really thought about it.
Yes, yeah.
Because he's not impulsive. He's not a thrill killer. It's like he's done it because he's for his own good. I'll get rid of these people because I can, get richer and live a good life. And he's gone, oh, see you later.
See you later. Yeah, he doesn't give a fuck about anybody. He doesn't. Fuck. Yeah.
Now the kids have gone, so they've just gone.
No, it doesn't mention the kids after that.
They must have just been taken away by authorities.
Yes, I imagine so.
So carry on. What?
So Kirschfeng continued to live with his third wife, but got tired of her and decided to kill her as well.
That's very that's like he's done all this, right?
Yeah.
To be with her and
with her, and he goes, now I'm bored
just
again.
a bit tired of you.
Yeah.
Not like, I want to steal all your money or planned it.
Actually, you're a bit of a bitch.
I'm sick of doing the washing up. Just go away.
Yeah, and he then took her out on a walk towards the path of in Guna Banya. And they then reached a subtle, isolated place. He began strangling this woman. However, she screamed. She managed to scream loud enough for people to hear, and thus the police were summoned. Kirschfeng was captured and sentenced to death. Was executed. His children would become orphans without a dime. So his sentence was commuted to 17 years imprisonment. During this time, Kirschfeng was employed as the prison's lumberjack and managed to financially support his children on his way.
So he didn't get hanged because he's got kids with no money.
Yes, they wouldn't orphan his kids.
Right.
So he had to work in prison to pay for them.
Kirschfeng was released in 1937 but was left penniless. He then visited his aunt, Et Vermeer, sister of his father, who held a small shop in Sofia, claiming that he borrowed 2 leather from her which he wanted to return. The woman took the money, and when she returned to take out some sweets with raspberry flavour to give to Kirschfeng's children, he killed her using an axe he had taken with him. Kirschfeng then scoured the shop, finding only 20 livres, which didn't satisfy him. Because of this, he went upstairs to his aunt's apartment, but also didn't find any money there. In one of the rooms, his aunt's 85-year-old husband, Ivan, was sleeping. He burst into the room, threatening the old man to give him money or else he'd kill him. The dude took out his wallet and showed that he only had 2 livres left. However, Kirschfeng noticed that he had a golden pocket watch, an honorary gift from his service as a volunteer during the Battle of Shipka Pass. When the man fought back, he killed him with the axe. The bloodied Kirschfeng then took the watch and a few other items that he thought he could sell, put up a sign saying that the shop would be closed for 10 days, and then he left. The regulars became suspicious as the shop worked without days off. She contacted the police, who inspected the home and found 2 bodies, with no clues to who the killer might have been. One of the investigators noticed that the guy's pocket watch was missing and began asking the local watchmakers if there had been anybody who had sold one recently to him. Eventually, he came across a pawn shop owner who claimed that he had been sold exactly the same type of watch 2 days ago that was probably stolen, and he gave the description of the man. Kirschfeng already had a dossier with pictures of him, And when the investigators showed him to the man, he recognised him instantly. The killer was soon arrested. So, because he sold that watch to someone local, and they found him out. Which
they've got him
fucking rookie
immediately.
mistake, innit?
Yeah.
Go somewhere else and sell
sit
it.
on it for a little bit.
Yeah, innit? Yeah.
You know.
So he's obviously, it's
Don't
all
go
about
frauding
him.
your
He just
money.
wants money. He wants everything for himself. So we're getting to the end of this now. So the trial against they called him the killer with the Adzi began on 22nd of February 1937. The case brought in a huge crowd of people eager to see the face of the horrible monster. Kirschfeng's attorney was the jurist Milio Balsamov, who was famous with going to extreme lengths to pardon every criminal. The murderer's confession to the magistrates lasted 3 hours, in which he admitted to being a sadist and requested the harshest penalty, murdering his aunt and uncle-in-law, saying, "Give me it. If there's nobody to do it, I'll do it myself." So now he's like, just fucking kill me. So he was sentenced to death by hanging the following day. His attorney, however, hated losing and appealed to the sentence to the Supreme Court of Cassation of Bulgaria. Both the appeal and the request for pardon was subsequently denied. Kirschfeng was executed on the night between April 13th and 14th in 1937, with his only request prior being that he was buried a Christian and that his children never learned that he had murdered their mother. After his execution, the guards found a note in his cell which read, "I should have died earlier, so I couldn't commit a new murder."
So quite the bloke.
Fucking hell,
Quite the man.
You picked a good one there.
Yeah, well, you picked a good country.
Yeah. Christ, mate, that was
and
a
that's
good
their
one.
first registered serial killer.
That's nuts, and that was in the 30s.
Yeah, that's between.
Oh, you said it was like
yeah, but
1919 and 1937. So that's nearly 20
yeah,
years.
so
18 years.
1919. So he was around at the same time as the Axeman.
Yeah, so he was born.
Him and the Axeman are at it at the same time.
So he was about 1919. So that was
he was 30, wasn't he?
yeah, something like that. Yeah. Probably that looks well old in that picture. He looks like, he looks like that really old, decrepit man that sits in the same pub every day, like in Weatherspoons, drinking.
Yeah, the one with like the whiskey nose. And
Yeah, the big fat nose.
Yeah.
The whiskey nose. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Right, so to wrap it up a little bit, because
very cunning bloke.
Yeah, that's a really interesting story.
Yeah, the killer with the Adzi, and to get the driver.
That's mate, horrible bastard. So you gave me Switzerland, right?
I gave you Switzerland, yeah.
And I'll be honest, I just Googled it. Well, I obviously had to Google it. And I clicked on, I think because it was like the first one that came up, Michael Peary, Peiry. And he was known as the sadist of Vermont. He's a Swiss serial killer who killed at least 5 people between 1981 and 1987, right? And the first crime attributed to Michael Peary dates back to the 1st of September 1981, when the 22-year-old travelled to the US. There he met a young Canadian named Sylvester, who soon disappeared without a trace. Peary initially confessed to the murder, then retracted his claim, and finally re-acknowledged it. Subsequently, he would go back and forth between confessions and retractions for all of his other crimes. On the 4th of February 1984, he murdered a young man named Frederick in the Annecy region of France. In June 1985, he murdered his only female victim. So he didn't have like an MO, like
it wasn't anyone. He wasn't a sexual desire.
No. It was a woman named Anne Law, or possibly Anne Fleur, as Peary could not exactly remember her name. On the 7th of May 1986, he killed his first Swiss victim, a young man named Cedric, whose decomposing corpse was found in Albinen, an isolated region of Valais. In 1986, Peary made trips to several European countries, including Yugoslavia. He admitted to the murder of a man named Silvio in the region of in Croatia, present-day Croatia, before retracting his confession again in the night between 14th and 15th of August 1986 in Ticino. He came across another hitchhiker named Fabio, killing him in his usual method. In November of the same year, Peary attacked a man named I can't say this. Yves, who miraculously survived despite suffering sexual abuse and almost dying. So he preferred men. So it's weird that he killed a woman, like just randomly out of the blue. Another victim named Vincent was found burned in March 1987. So again, he didn't have a method.
No, I think he just enjoyed.
Yeah,
the act. Yeah, wasn't it?
There are apparent similarities with Pierre Chanel modus operandi, but this was never proven conclusively. Peary was suspected in the so-called Mormelon disappearance case, especially since between 1980 and 1987, he frequented the military zones of northern France and Val d'Hon camp in Doubs near the Swiss border. Due to lack of evidence, the lead was abandoned in 1990. A month later, on the 16th of April 1987, a young Frenchman became his 9th victim in Como region of Italy. Pieri confessed to his murder, but then retracted his confession. It's like, make your mind up, man. Finally, on the 24th of April 1987, he attacked his last victim, a young man named Thomas, who survived. We've got 2 guys here that didn't do a thorough job.
Yeah, they're not.
Like, you want to go and kill someone, it's not hard to kill someone. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially if you've got an axe in your hand.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
so he was arrested on the 1st of May 1987 while doing his military service in Canton of Bern and was subsequently sentenced to life imprisonment by the court. He was arrested a few days after the disappearance of 19-year-old Patrick Gash, a conscript of the 4th Regiment of Dragoons Montmelon. No investigation or evidence could be established. In July 1988, Pierre Chanel was arrested in Dijon during the flagrant rape of a Hungarian tourist. He worked as a sergeant in the Val d'Hon military camp in Franche-Comté between 1965 and 1977 for the 30th Regiment of Dragoons, regularly taking part in tank manoeuvres around the camp. Between 1999 and 2000, a survey of gendarmes in Bescanon established that 2 soldiers had disappeared between 75 and 77. However, no connection could be made to either Pierre or Chanel. So there's 2 guys.
So he was never caught then, or?
So in 2002... Or
never prosecuted for those?
Yeah, he was life imprisonment, but it was 2 guys they thought might have done it. In 2002 and again in 2009, Pierre made several parole requests without any success. Here we go, modus operandi, because I'm confused because he didn't have a set thing. He didn't go and just rape and kill women all the time. It was like a couple of men did it in different ways. Oh, like, I'll kill a woman.
Yeah.
Just right in between, you know. Pierre corresponds perfectly to the typical portrait of an organised psychopath. Despite having an unhappy childhood and a violent father, he managed to lead a normal life and was appreciated by everyone in his social life and work. However, behind the mask of normality, he was tortured first by his repressed homosexuality, then by violent fantasies which he acquired early. That's very quite, you know,
explains
like Jeffrey Dahmer. Same. By his own because especially like back then, Jeffrey Dahmer, same, being gay was illegal for a start.
Yes, yeah.
And even when it wasn't, it was like, I'm gay, I don't want to tell anyone. I'm not gay. So by his own admission, he discovered his sexuality through a review of bondage in his mind. Sexuality and violence became inseparable. In France, he is often compared with Pierre Chanel as there were similarities. So he's done the Jeffrey Dahmer thing without eating them. Like he didn't have a punishment for eating people. But yeah, he did a Jeffrey Dahmer thing. So yeah, the suppressed that's fascinating to me. The suppressed homosexuality, because even today, you know, someone that it's a lot more obviously open. And it's
a lot more acceptable now, isn't
yeah.
it? Yeah.
Like I'm gay. Like most,
you know, it's still a big thing for
there's some people
to come out,
there's some people out there, you know, they're 12, 13, 14, they're like, I might be gay. I don't want to tell anyone. So back then,
where it's actually a crime. It's a crime.
Yeah, and they make you feel like it's dirty and it's wrong. So he's suppressed that, and he's had a horrible father. So it's all angry inside. So when it's popped out, I think the like Jeffrey Dahmer, where he was torturing animals and stuff because he was suppressing his homosexuality and had a shitty childhood.
Yeah.
So it's all blended into one. So the torture of the animals and the violence and being gay, he's fused it together. So when he's met a man, he's going, I'm going to do some fucking horrible things to you. So he's done it to all these blokes. He could have easily, like Jeffrey Dahmer could have easily got married to a guy and lived happily ever after.
Yeah, but
all this shit in his head, he's like, I need to let out these fucking fantasies.
Violent
because it's all that, you know, like people that
up on him.
People that,
I mean, but everyone has fantasies, don't they? It doesn't, you know, whether they're sexual. I mean, I can't say I have killing fantasies.
Yeah.
I mean, don't get me wrong. You've sat there. Everyone's sat there in the past and gone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Of course they have. Yeah.
I'd love to knock your teeth out.
Yeah,
sort
of course.
Thing. Yeah.
But it's the whole like I think because we've both had. The average childhood. It wasn't we're not rich, we're not poor, we're not like
to want to go out and fulfill these fantasies. Yeah, it makes you think you must already. What is the narcissism thing? Yeah. To say that, you know, this is life. This is and to psychopathic. Yeah, in the way of there's no moral, there's no right or wrong. Yeah, or even if there is, the argument, the debate that goes on between right and wrong is just completely gone out the window by this one fantasy that he's fixated on. Yeah. So he's gone out multiple times, you know,
and just done it. Yeah, and it's what I don't get is why he killed that woman. I think.
Well, maybe he's discovering who, you know, what he likes. Maybe, you know.
he's testing things out, I suppose.
Yeah.
He's like,
Do I prefer killing men or women?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
There's a lot
this
of you see patterns again with serial killers, where the first couple of murders are a bit sloppy, you know, and then they get into their routine and they're like, I'm going to do it this way because it's more, it's easier to do, you know, it's convenient. I can get rid of the body this way. They think about it along the way. The first two, like Jeffrey Dahmer, killed his first victim at 18. He didn't even mean to do it, and then he's like, shit, how am I going to get rid of his body?
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So like,
and
obviously.
then
Other things happen,
Yeah.
but it's like along the way they're going, because they're trying to find that ultimate like orgasmic euphoric feeling, you know, because you know when he kills someone and rapes them, he might at the time it feels great, but then afterwards he's like, I'm back down there, so I need to do it again.
I need to do it again
and then
to get
find something else like kinkier, you know, to get their thing.
No,
But it's all the violence and it's the shit childhood, because some people might have you know, been sexually abused as children and eventually become, you know, not fine or cured, but like live a normal life. But someone who could get I think, you know, someone could get raped once and
it damaged them for
they could commit suicide, or they commit murders, or they beat their wife or their husband, you know, like things happen. So it's that's why it fascinates me so much, all this stuff, because every single person is completely different. Their brains are wired differently. But yeah, so that's what I think we're going to do next again. I think the next one we do, Throw Me a Country. And
Throw You a Country, yeah. I reckon you carry it on with other guests as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, the interest in some of them can be quite interesting, especially Socrat. Good old Socrat.
Yeah, I didn't know about him, and now I'm thinking I want to know more. You know, like,
I tried to look for more. There's no more out there about him. But
and like you said, in Switzerland in the 80s, 70s, and 80s, 90s, and this Michael Pieri, who I'd never heard of, and they called him the sadist of Vermont. And he killed, it says, between 5 and 11 people. So there's other
way.
Might be connected. And he's from Switzerland. You're like, well, they're quite nice people.
Yeah, the Swiss are really happy.
But yeah, they're everywhere. Everywhere.
No, it doesn't matter where you're from, does it? Oh.
But yeah, so we're going to wrap it up because it's been quite a while.
Yeah, no, it's been a good one.
Yeah, man.
Be good on the edit.
So, yeah. But yeah, thanks for coming on and talking, mate.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so I'll see you again soon.
See you soon.
Peace.